We are live, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. Today is Sunday, March 8th, 2026. The markets are closed. No economic releases, no earnings reports, just charting. Because of the Iran war of 2026, which is ongoing tensions around the Strait of Hormuz, energy markets have been extremely sensitive to geopolitical developments over the past week. They've been bombing over there, y'all, and the oil price has been going crazy. So last week we did that special show based on what could happen with these oil stocks and oil ETFs. So I'm going to revisit those companies and ETFs in this show, and we'll see how we did, and we'll see where they went. After that, we'll check out some defense companies that you might want to check out, just in case this Iran war continues a lot longer than was initially thought. All right, next let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I am building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law. Quote, youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. Daily law. Reality is infinitely mysterious. Let it continually fill you with awe. Remind yourself how much more you can still learn. After spending years learning and developing our skills, it is easy to fall into the trap of believing we already understand how things work. Our curiosity fades. We stop asking questions that once fueled our growth. Robert Greene warns that this quiet complacency slowly narrows the mind and weakens creativity. To avoid this decline, we must deliberately preserve a sense of wonder about the world. When we remind ourselves how vast and mysterious reality truly is, our minds remain open and flexible. That openness keeps us learning, discovering, and evolving long after others have become stagnant. For long-term investors, retaining a sense of wonder means staying curious about industries, technologies, and macroeconomic shifts. Markets constantly evolve as innovation and global events reshape the economic landscape. Investors who remain curious continue researching new sectors, emerging technologies, and changing global trends. This mindset prevents them from becoming locked into outdated assumptions. Curiosity allows investors to recognize new opportunities before they become obvious to everyone. For active traders, curiosity keeps the mind flexible and adaptable. Markets change constantly as liquidity conditions, news events, and trader behavior evolve. Traders who assume they already understand the market often stop adapting and begin forcing trades to match their expectations. But traders who remain curious watch price action with fresh eyes each day. They stay open to new patterns, new setups, and new market environments. Curiosity keeps the trader observant, and observation leads to better execution. All right, so let's get into these oil stocks and charts. All right, give me about 20 seconds so I can finish the setup for the show. You know how it goes. All right, we set up. Oh, actually, let me write good morning in the chat. Give me 1 second, good people. And also, peace, blessings, financial freedom. There we are. Okay, let's get into it. BNO. How did it go back to that? Oh, technical difficulty. All right, we back. All right, remember last week we charted BNO. It was consolidating. It was about to break out. And yes, you can see it. You can see these gaps here. Remember we marked all these levels. And you can see this thing gapped up. This was Friday. So it gapped up from Friday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gapped up to Thursday, Thursday gapped up to Friday. This thing has been running. This was a monster week. Let's check it out. 26% on the week. Phenomenal. For everybody invested in BNO, that thing ran up 26%. Wow, congrats to everybody who bought that. Now, as far as where it could potentially go this upcoming week. So, as long as the Strait of Hormuz is not allowing oil tankers through there, then this thing is going to continue to run up. So, the next stop I see is definitely going to be all-time highs. So if it does, if they end up reopening the Strait of Hormuz and they say that the war is over, then this thing is going to drop. And these gaps are going to get filled. So we got definitely look out for the news. Definitely stay updated if you are getting into this trade. Let's check out the level up algo and see if we can get some targets beyond the all-time high. Okay, so the current target. So this is going to be a new entry on Monday at market open. So the initial target is going to be 44.93, followed by 45.91, and a little bit above the all-time high. So you can just say the all-time high. And then let's check out the weekly so we can see if we can get a bigger target. There we go, 51.38, followed by 58.81. And if this war takes months, 66.24. But that would be crazy. Like, that would be crazy. I don't think it's going to go that high, but those are the numbers, folks. So that's what we got. That's what we got on BNO. Very close to all-time highs right now. So as far as, yeah, you see it. It's not really much to say. As far as downside, we got the gap right here. We got our daily level at 42. We got our level right here at 39.80, and then we got 37.32 and 36.30. Next, we got USO. This thing been running crazy too. Let's see how they did over the week. 32% on the week. Shout out to everybody that bought some USO last week. That thing went crazy. All right, so we had a monster gap up here from Thursday to Friday. And yeah, this thing is running. So as far as support, we got our 105 support after the gap. We got the gap as if it does end up coming back into the gap, it's probably going to halfway fill and bounce first, which would be 101.59. If it does end up breaking that, it'll probably fill the whole gap at 98.90. If there's more downside, we got 97. We also got a small gap right here. Let me go ahead and draw that. All right. And then to the upside, we got this 110. Let's see if we got any. See if we got any levels beyond this 110 before we get to 120. We might have something in here. Yeah, that's a very nice level right there. You can see how many times price reacted. So you gotta look left so you know how to go right, y'all. So here, 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 here. And then here as well. There we are. Okay, so let's see. To the upside resistance, we got that 110, 115, 118, 120. As long as the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, then we should have more upside. Let's check out the algo, see if we get some more targets. So this is going to be a new entry point here on Monday at market open. So the stop loss for that is going to be 104.53. First take profit is going to be 113, followed by 117 and 121. All right. I think that's good. And then, you know, we got this weekly at 125. So I think that's good for targets to the upside for the next upcoming week. All right. Let's check out XLE. XLE actually had hit an all-time high on Monday, sold off, and is trying to get back to all-time highs. So it's looking very strong right now. It's looking very strong. It's not much to say, man. It's very close to all-time highs. Let's see if it continues. Let's put on the algo and see. So how did XLE do for the week? It was up 1% on the week, which is not much compared to the others, but 1% is better than negative. All right, next, let's check out the algo. See if we have some targets. Yes, we do. Okay, so this was the latest entry at 57.04. Stop loss is going to be 56.27. And the first target is 57.81, which is very close to the all-time high. But above the all-time high, we have 58.58 as TP2 and 59.35 as TP3. All right. Let's check out the weekly and see if we have a. Nope, they don't have a target higher than the all-time high. So those are the targets for XLE, y'all. And then to the downside support, I got the low of last week, which was 55.32, followed by 55 even, and the low of the previous week is 54.15, followed by 53.75, y'all. All right, so that's what we got on XLE. Check out these other ones. Okay, so we did have a gap up. This next one is XOP. State Street ETF. It did gap up, came back, got into the gap on Wednesday, and then took off to the upside. So as far as it did break out of this consolidation zone, that's this orange zone. This orange line is the top of the consolidation zone. So it did break out. So it may come retest this just to make sure before it runs up again. But upside target, you got 174. Downside target is going to be this consolidation zone top at 161.17. Let's see if the algo has any targets. Okay, so this latest entry was 159.56, but it's already $4 past that, so keep that in mind. But the stop loss is the top of the gap, so I wouldn't get in this trade, but I just want to let y'all know. And also, right now, let me take my drawings off. I do have on the Lux Algo Smart Money Concepts, which gives you support and resistance. So this red section here, this is resistance. So it's coming up on some resistance here. And then this blue section down here, that is support. So look, every time it comes down here, bought up, bought up, bought up, bought up, and ran crazy. So this is some resistance right here. So it's gonna have some trouble getting through here. But I just wanted to let y'all know what those lines were. That is an indicator. All right. Next we have IEO. Remember they had the consolidation as well. And they end up gapping up outside of the consolidation, came back, retested, and ran up and hit all-time highs on Friday. So it's at all-time highs. So it's nothing but price discovery up here. If it does end up pulling back, I would check for a bounce at 113. If it breaks that, it could come back to 110.88. All right, let's check out the algo and see if we have any targets above the all-time high. We do. Okay, so the all-time high is here. So targets above the all-time high is going to be 117.21 and 119.67, y'all. With a stop loss at the top of the gap. All right, let's check out Lockheed Martin. Hit all-time highs on Monday. This is your defense company. So whenever the war is popping off, they usually run. Let's check out the algo and see what we got. So above the all-time high, they have 699.54 as the first target above the all-time high. Let's see if we got another on the weekly. Yes, we got 708.79. So go ahead and write those down if you want some targets above the all-time high for Lockheed Martin. And then as far as support, we got a 650. Should bounce here. As you can see, our Smart Money Concepts support blue zone right here. So it's probably going to bounce. If not, we do have this weekly level right beneath there. So it could definitely bounce on that weekly level as well, which is 634.40. All right, next we got Northrop Grumman. It gapped up from Friday to Monday. Hit an all-time high on Tuesday. Came back into the gap and took off back to the upside. It's headed back toward all-time highs. So as far as support, we got some support The top of the gap in the middle of the gap where it bounced on before. Resistance, we got the all-time high. Let's check out the algo and see if we have any targets above the all-time high. Yes, above the all-time high, we have 796, 824, 852. So it's actually below the latest entry. So $11 below the latest entry. So you see the stop loss here at 739.81, which is right above the gap. So keep that in mind. All right, next we got RTX Corporation, formerly Raytheon Technologies. Let's see, it gapped up here on Friday, pulled back, filled the gap on Thursday, and started headed back to the upside on Friday. So very strong candle, almost $3 move, almost a 3% move on Friday. So it looked like it's headed back toward all-time highs. Downside support, we got Friday's, the lower Friday, which is 203.61. We got the lower Thursday, which is 200. Then we got our smart money concepts support level down here. To the upside, we got the all-time high. Let's check out the algo. Above the all-time high, we got 216.32, 220.48, and 224.64. That's what we got on Raytheon. All right, next, let's check out Chevron. Chevron hit an all-time high on Friday. So it's not much to say. It hit an all-time high on Friday. As far as support, you had the low of the day on Friday, 188.20. Then we got our smart money concept support here, and also my 184.20 daily level. As far as upside, we got the all-time high. Let's check out the algo. See if we got any targets above the all-time high. We got 193.79. See if we got anything further on the weekly. We got 196.76, and we got 201.76. But I'm sure 200 is going to be a psychological level. So keep that in mind. Write those down, and you are good. Next, we have Exxon Mobil, y'all. All right, so last week from Friday to Monday, it gapped up, hit an all-time high, and then sold off, and it's trying to make its way back up. So if it does, as far as support, we have Friday's low, 150.15. That'll put it into the smart money concepts support zone, and also my daily level here at 148.50, followed by my weekly level at 147.30. And then to the upside resistance, I have 154.20, followed by 155.60, 157, and then back to all-time highs. Let's see if we have any let's see. This is actually still in a sell for some reason. Let's check out the 4 hour. Let's see if the 4 hour is still in the sell too. Yeah, okay. So the algo does not have, the algo is in a sell for Exxon Mobil. So it did have a sell here on a 4 hour on Monday. Oh, as soon as it hit the all-time high, it sold off so hard that the algo created a sell signal. So that's what happened. And then after it sold off, it just started chopping. So I'm still very bullish on it until, as long as this Iran war is going on, we definitely bullish on Exxon Mobil, y'all. It just sold off a lot. That's why the algo is confused. But we definitely still bullish on this. All right, so that's what I got, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. $1 trillion tickers. I'm your host, Matt Riches. We do this show every single morning. Usually starts at 6:15. So we'll be back tomorrow on the pre-market. Tune in. Today was a special show for the Iran war. But we'll be back tomorrow for sure for our regularly scheduled programming. All right, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.